Hello everyone, welcome to another lesson of Autodesk Revit tutorial. In this session, we are going to see what is a unit in Revit and how we can set our unit of our project. As another engineering software, Revit has its unit system. What is unit system and what is the importance of setting the unit system? Let's start how we can set our unit system and why we should set the unit system. We should set the unit because when you are enter a number in Revit, for example, you are going to create a wall, you should input its length. Or for example, if you are creating a level, you should insert its height. And this is the importance of unit, because when you are inserting its number, for example, length or area or height or something else, you should know about its unit, because if the height of a level is 3 meters, you should know if you need to enter it as 3 or 3000 or 300 and what. So this is the importance of setting the unit system in Autodesk Revit. Okay, so first of all, Revit, like some other application like AutoCAD, has short key for run some tools. Okay, so first of all, try to use the short keys for do the actions in Revit, but here we use shortcut, and also we show the tool and its location to you. So the unit is on Manage tab. If you click on Manage, you can see where is the unit? Here. This is the project units. And if you see in bottom of my mouse, my pointer, it writes project unit or UN. So UN is the short key. So if you click on project unit, you can see this window, or simply you just write UN in your keyboard, and there is no need to press enter or something else. Just write U and N, and this window will open. The items in this list can be vary with your Revit version, but the common concept is the same. Here you see the disciplines or the categories. The common discipline contains a unit which you use in all the discipline. For example, architectural, structural, and MEP use angle or area or length. For example, for length, when you are going to create a wall or duct or structural framing, you use length to model it. And the other options is for the specific category. For example, electrical contains units in electrical discipline, or for example, structural contains units used in structural discipline. For example, reinforcement length just using structural, because you don't have any rebar in architecture or MEP discipline. So for this session and for the start, let's see the common discipline. And among these units, for example, angle for angle, area for area, length for length, and the other. The most important unit is length. And if you can see, the default discipline, the default unit system is millimeters here. and why this is millimeters and why not, for example, inches or feet or fractional inch. Why? Because I start the project with a metric template, as we mentioned before. The metric template unit system is millimeters, and in future you have your uh, template, you have your unit, you have your styles and loadable families. But for now, the default metric uh, template has millimeters, and this template is for Autodesk. Okay, so for millimeters, click on this button, the window uh, like this. You can see the window like this. Here in units, you can set your unit system. For example, centimeter, millimeter, meter, kilometer, and the other uh, unit system. And for example, here I just click on meters. I want to change my unit system to meters. And rounding, 0 decimal places, 1, 2, 3, or custom. What is these? These are just your precision, your rounding. If I click on 0, it means that I can only create walls one by one. For example, 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter. If I choose 1 decimal places, I can create the element, for example, wall with 1 decimal places, for example, 1.5, 1.3, 2.3, okay? And the rest of, for example, 3 is, it means that you can create your element, for example, 1.123, okay? And these are, for example, to the nearest 10, it decrease your precision. For example, you can create your wall 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 and the other. Here, it depends on the unit you choose here. For example, if you choose millimeters, I think there is no need to any decimal places because the millimeter is small itself. Okay. Or when you choose, for example, meters, it's worse that, for example, 3 decimal places is good because the meter is a large unit and probably you need to add some precision. And here, unit symbol. Unit symbol is the symbol of the selected unit. For example, if you choose meters, it is M. If you choose feet, it is feet, FT or LF, or inches. You can here see the unit symbol of the selected unit. Okay, so I choose meter and here choose M. And what is this and why we should choose it here? If you choose the symbol here, when you create a wall, for example, let me show you. For example, I am creating a wall here. If you can see, you see a M beside your length number. Okay, but if you don't choose the symbol here, for example, none, if you create anything, you don't see the unit symbol. This is just for you, and this is it doesn't control anything in your model. Okay, it's just for your visibility and visual. And suppress trailing zeros. If you click these suppress trailing zero, I choose 3 number decimal places, and if I create a wall with length of, for example, 1 meter, okay, if you don't click it, you don't choose it. When you are creating a wall, you see 3.6000. The zeros is redundant here, so there is no need to show the trailing zeros. If you select it, if you know, the result is 3.8 and the rest of the zeros is removed. So this is the subtrailing trailing zeros. And use digit grouping. Digit grouping means that if you, for example, use millimeters, and let me remove the decimal places. If you use digit grouping, the Revit show the number like this, and it separates your number in each three number. For example, 1, 2, 3, colon, 4, 5, 6, colon, and the other. Let me show you. If you create, for example, a wall with length of 71 millimeter, 71,000 millimeter, you can see a column here that separate your number by 3. Okay, this is the use digit grouping, and it depends on the unit you chosen here as well. For example, I choose meters with 3 decimal places, and it is not important for me because I don't have any wall with 1000 length meters in meters, and it's okay. And what about the other units? The other unit is not important yet. Why? Because for example, an area used only in, for example, floors or ceilings, or for example, area of walls, and in those cases you use length as well. For example, when you are going to create a floor, you use length. At length generate an area. For example, area here is on square meters. For example, I change it to square feet. Okay, and okay. Why this is not important? If I create a floor here, you see length at length as well. Okay, so at the first stage, this is not important. It is not important for us because we create all the things in Revit with meter, with length unit, and if you finish the job, if you click on your floor, you can see the area here in square feet, So if I change the area units, I can just see, for example, the volume is cubic meters. If I change let me change it. For example, let me change the volume. For example, cubic inches. If you click and select the floor, you can see the volume perimeter shows as cubic inches. This is the first setting in our project. In all of your project, you should know your unit and your unit system. Okay, so and another thing, you can choose a unit but insert the length in another unit. Okay, and it's no problem. We will see it in next sessions, but here and for now we just want to know about the unit and its concept. Okay, so this is this session, and I hope you enjoy this lesson. If you have any question, write on comments for me. Good luck and goodbye.